We're back in Kansas after having a wonderful trip to Coffeyville, Kansas, Warrensburg, Missouri, Independence, Kentucky, Indianapolis, Northern Michigan, and back. Lots of good times with friends, some just a few years, some nearly 60 years. I want to talk about two soldiers. One of them, me. You already know a lot about me. The other one, a boy that grew up in the South, says that his early days included living in what's known as the projects. You know, that public housing where everything deteriorates. Oh, we hadn't even ought to have done it because it just led to crime and so on and so forth. Well, now, you know what? Those public housing things, those projects helped a lot of people. And my Army buddy lived in one for a while. Right down the row a ways was the black section in between a fence. You might talk across the fence, you might laugh across the fence, you might yell across the fence, but you don't cross the fence. That's the black side. This is the white side. Time goes by. He joins the Army, joins the Army Air Corps. More time goes by, and we're both Phillips University students, both young veterans. We meet partly because we are both poor and working for 50 cents an hour helping the college clean up after the fire took out the main building. The other part of it was that we both have pregnant wives. And as such, our wives get acquainted as they do their walking. Walking was the way to stay fit and have a healthy baby. Excuse me. Well, we both signed into the reserves when we got out, and we go to the same reserve meetings. And on September the 1st, 1950, we are both back on active duty, part of the 325th Hospital Train Unit out of Enid, Oklahoma. Excuse me again. When we get out there, we're being trained because a lot of the boys that signed up never been in the Army at all. And while I and a buddy worked in the Admissions and Dispositions Office of the Letterman Army Hospital at the Presidio in San Francisco, my buddy got assigned to cook school. When I was visiting with him recently, he said he never cooked again. Well, I didn't go to cook school, and I cook quite a bit. Kind of halfway proud of the fact I can cook some things pretty good. Other things I wouldn't dare attempt. Well, I end up a paratrooper. He's given the chance to be one, says new as an Army Air Corps guy. He's not jumping out of any airplanes. Well, we both end up in Korea, but he gets there first. I end up in the Far East first, but my outfit's been pulled back to Beppu, Japan. He's on the front. He's put in charge of an ambulance company. One of the things that we did in the service is we had extra food at the chow hall. We found an orphanage and took it to them. We did in Beppu. They were doing it up near the front. Unfortunately, one of his ambulance drivers ran over and killed the child. And he goes to the orphanage to express condolences and is shocked by what he sees. And he calls or writes back to, we couldn't call, all that's calling is a New Deal. They made it look like on MASH that you could patch through. Well, maybe some could. Nowhere I was could. And anyway, he's shocked by how little food and how little clothing, how few blankets there are in that orphanage. And his good Christian heart is touched, and he writes back to the dean of the college at Phillips University, Enid, Oklahoma, and truckloads of things are sent from those churches served by the Christian church, and particularly by those student ministers. Great thing. And as a result, he gets marked for what I understand was the fast track. What a reward God arranged for him through his Christian convictions and his Christian intellect. Well, anyway, God did smile on him. And when he needed the Army, as he got out, we both got out in, I think, 52. Peggy, I didn't mean that to say anybody's name. The wife had tuberculosis, and a deal was struck that if he would re-up, they would put the wife in the Army's tuberculosis center, Fitzsimmons Hospital, Denver, Colorado. My buddy stayed in the reserves, switched as a minister over into the chaplaincy, and eventually retired as a full colonel. I was disgusted and got out of the Army, out of the reserves as soon as I could after I got home from Korea. Sure was dumb on my part, but what a blessing for them. He has the retirement now as a full colonel, and compared to me, he's a very, very wealthy man. He said with pride when I recently was with him that he'll soon be worth $1 million. Gee whiz. God does smile on us in a variety of ways, and God has blessed me in so many ways that I can't complain, but I can be just a little jealous.